Horns up, metalheads. Welcome to Radioactive Metal, The Interviews. In this episode, Rock sits down to speak with the vocalist of the Black Dahlia Murder about the new album that's coming out and about graphics. Apparently, Trevor and Rock both share a love of album artwork, and it's been a big important factor with the Black Dahlia Murder lately. So without further ado, grab a beer, sit back, kick back, and listen to Rock's chat with Trevor of the Black Dahlia Murder.
So, Trevor, let's start with the new album. It's called The Nightbringers, and it comes out on Metal Blade on October 6th. I love the title, first of all. So what's the inspiration behind the title?
It's basically like the embodiment of a long-running theme in the band's lyrics. About, I always see metal and death metal in particular as being a villain's music, a villain of normality, a villain of religious thought, and so to me it's a vehicle for freedom, for self-reliance, and for fearlessness in life. And it's definitely been a recurring theme. We talk about night a lot and existing at night, and a lot of vampiric themes, which are also tied into the nightlife. So and it's definitely it's a statement about everything that we've been backing up to this point, really.
Okay, so is this a concept album in any way, shape, or form? Or?
Yes and no. There's a couple nods to the recurring theme, really, but I wouldn't call it a concept record. But the title track obviously deals with it, and the song "Kings of the Night World" is also very much the same kind of vein. So it's kind of like having two title tracks, but I wouldn't say, like, by and large, that it's a concept record.
Okay. When I first saw that title, "Kings of the Night World," I'm thinking, what? Are they playing a cover of Kiss?
Yeah, that's what our manager said too. The Kings of the Nighttime World. He's like, you got that Kiss going, right? I'm like, yeah, I guess so.
Well, I'm a huge Kiss fan, and I'm a huge fan of yours. So if
nothing's wrong with Kiss, man. I'm down with Kiss.
So
Dress to Kill's the shit. That's my shit.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite for sure. Oh man, that's awesome. So this is album number 8.
Crazy, right?
I know.
Even that in itself is a shock to me. I mean, I remember when it was just my dream to make one legitimate album, and just so I could have it kind of in my hand and show it to my folks and be like, look, guys,
That's awesome. So, but you guys have been very consistent in putting out albums every 2 years.
To have to at least make one album with a band, and have like a real product and a real CD, and just something I could have personal pride in. And it's gone, so far beyond that. And each album seems to be on an upward trajectory for us, still. So there's still so much excitement from our camp to see where we can take this entire thing, And when we got signed, we, Brian and I, we're still the two original members. We made a pact. Basically, we're like, all right, let's quit everything in life and go 10,000% in this direction and just take it to the utmost hilt. You know what I mean? So that's what we've been doing. We never say no. The word no does not exist in the Black Dahlia's catalog. If there's a place to go, we'll be there. If there's a tour to be had, we'll do it. Just constant movement.
Okay, gotcha. And like I was asking you earlier before we got cut off, you guys have been very consistent with an album every 2 years. Is that just a coincidence, or is that just how you like to do it?
Now it's just part of the deal. Like, we've done it so long like this, but we realize it's a pretty accelerated way to do things. And we don't allow ourselves a whole great deal of time to write, or we don't have that much time off the road necessarily either. But it was an attempt to to stay relevant and to stay ever present in people's minds, to always have something new coming out on the horizon. And with each album cycle, it's kind of a rebirth in a way. There's new tunes to be excited about, new merch, new artwork, new tours, opportunities, and everything. So
gotcha.
It's kind of a reaction to I guess how fickle people are about music now. Just this internet era has kind of ushered in that kind of indifference. You can have as much music as you want at all times, and things are so flooded with bands. There's more competition than ever, I think. So it's just been an effort to stay omnipresent, you know?
Okay. Yeah. And I got to say, I love the consistency, because I kid you not, about a month ago, I was thinking, it's been about 2 years. We're probably going to see a new album soon. So,
Yep.
So I love it. I absolutely love it.
Clockwork, man. Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad to hear you say that. I mean, that was the idea, is to hopefully be a consistent band, and to be hopefully now by the 8th album, people know we're not going to do any U-turns, you know what I mean? Do anything, like we wanted to be one of those bands like Cannibal Corpse that is dependable, that's going to stay the course, that's going to do their best to make a quality album for the fans, and that's 8 albums in, it feels like that we are that, I hope,
Yeah, exactly, and that's the comparison that I've made, on the show. That I compare you guys kind of to Cannibal Corpse, because they're consistent, and what you're getting, and that's awesome.
Right on, man. Yeah, they're definitely one of our biggest influences for sure. And we saw when we were coming up, we were thinking globally, and we were thinking long term right from the beginning. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Not just to be a flash in the pan, but to hopefully stake our claim and be able to stay around. And I feel like I've seen a couple generations come and go, and I've seen a couple trends come and go in this time. Mm-hmm. And when we play shows now, I talk to kids in the crowd. They're often half my age, and they look at me like I'm old wizard. You know what I mean? And it's funny. I've grown up on the road, basically. We've there was a time when that was one of the selling points of the band, was that, oh, look how young these guys are. They're going so fast, and they're so young and cute.
So how does that make you feel, though, when somebody, like you said, they look at you and they like you're old? I mean, do you say, hey, I'm not old? I
said, hey, I'm not old. I just drink a lot. Well, I'm 36, so that's debatable, actually. But I don't know. I'm flattered that that they still want anything to do with us, and that young fans are still coming into the band, and I see that there's bands that we've influenced. A generation of young bands taking influence from us, and that's just super flattering too. It's it's to me, it means this thing is here to stay.
Gotcha. Now you were talking about the writing new music earlier, and so what's the process with you guys when you write music? Does somebody bring a full song, or is it like you guys jam and then you put songs together? How does it work with you guys?
Well, we're pretty spread out now, so we don't really practice like a normal band would. The drummer is in the practice space all the time, doing his upkeep and shit, and everybody kind of does their homework at home now, but so yeah, we're writing with Pro Tools. We're writing, by the time I usually get handed a whole song or a big chunk of a song from either guitar player, and it'll have both guitars, bass, programmed drums that sound pretty decent. So, we're starting with a pretty high quality product compared to when we used to, get together and jam and try to force songs together. And, I do miss that too, because I miss being a little bit more involved in the songwriting than I am now, because we were all there in person, kind of hashing it out. The guys started going into isolation to write, and I think that the ideas get developed to a whole another power than what you can come up with in front of your friends, and I just remember us like all together jamming all these different things all at once, and just making a bunch of turmoil and like not achieving anything most of the days,
Yeah.
So it's a different style, but it's cool. It comes with it has its own strengths and stuff. But yeah, I'll get a chunk of a song, from Brian, and I'll be like, wow, this is really cool. And he'll be like, what do you think? Go over to the chorus here, and I'm like, yeah, sure. Or he'll hand me a whole song and it's just done. And I'm just like, wow. But it's exciting for me to write every 2 years. I feel like even though we're moving at such a rapid trajectory, we play so many shows and see so many bands in our travels and listen to so much music and absorb so much info in 2 years that when we do come back to write, it's different, every time. I feel like it's new stuff, new ideas, more technical, maybe. Like I feel like we've grown a lot as players over the years, and brought people into the band that kind of we're aligned with that evolution. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And, it's really fun for me still. After all these albums, like when I was hearing these songs, I was just blown away with excitement, and I think it really shows in all aspects that we were all coming together and very excited about the material, very excited about Brandon's stamp that he's put on things. Him coming into the band was a huge shot of energy into the arm of this thing. So, I feel like he's put a huge touch of his on this record, and it's definitely unique for it. And I think it could be our strongest record yet. I feel like it is. I feel very proud at this moment.
So, I'm sorry. Do you feel like it's harder or easier today to write music since you guys have so much experience doing it now?
I think it's easier, but I think that worries about it, more anal, and there is a mounting pressure that comes. It's even more so with each record, the pressure to keep delivering the goods, because we've had such an incredible run with the last few records. I think since Deflorate did well for us, but it was a slight misstep, I think, in the fans' eyes. And we returned really strong with Ritual, and we've just been hitting it right on the head, I think, ever since. And that's a lot of pressure to maintain what some people say is a perfect track record, since then. So, but you have to look at it both ways. I mean, there's times where it's scary, and you're like, oh, my whole livelihood is riding on this thing, and the livelihood of so many people that are involved, our crew that rides around with us all the time. It's bigger than just an individual thing now. You know what I mean? But also just, it's a good pressure to have. It's awesome to have fans waiting for what you're going to do, to have eyes on you waiting for the next step. That can be also really inspiring.
Very true, very true. So how's your voice holding up after 16 years of you screaming and touring? Do you have a vocal coach? You have a magic potion? I mean, what do you do?
I really, there was times when I really worried about it a lot more. And I think I would stress myself out about it too much and maybe like lose sleep, because that's the thing. That's the vicious cycle of tour. When you worried about not getting sleep and then your voice is going to suck, then you don't sleep. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I got to just kind of relax. And, I used to be more superstitious, I guess, about things, and kind of OCD about warming up and doing all different stuff. But nowadays I'll just do a few screams, a few high ones, a few low ones. I just don't think about it that much. I don't dwell on it that much. But I've also learned a lot more technique than I had say than 5 years ago. You know what I mean? So learning how to do more with less is still an ongoing process. And I think that it's just, I don't know, I'm still learning, but there was a lot I took away from Melissa Cross's, educational videos and stuff. She's, done a lot for heavy singers. She has a DVD called The Zen of Screaming. And, that taught me a lot about breathing. And that was a big turning point with me and how rapidly I could kind of deliver things. And so, yeah, I have to thank her, and definitely for that. And But I'm still growing as a vocalist. I think I still try to do new things and new voices and tones, and in the last few years, I've tried to actually slow down my delivery and make it more understandable. You know what I mean? I think it's even catchier if you can grab the lyrics just from listening to it, or at least some of them. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's right. I did notice that you've slowed down a little bit on the cadence in some areas. So when you first started, with the band, all back those 16, 18 years ago, like you mentioned, you do highs, you do lows. Did you start doing that yourself by necessity, or is it because nobody else could do the highs or nobody else could do the lows, so you said, well, fuck it, I'll do them both? I mean, how did you develop your style?
It was really just in very much in tribute to Carcass and the necroticism in particular.
I figured it was that, because I'm a huge Carcass fan, and the first time I heard you, I was like, these guys are into Carcass.
Yeah, that was definitely it, and kind of the freedom of recording and be able to record multiple tracks in the early, it was such a turn on for me. I was like, wow, I can sound like Satan anytime I want. All I got to do is, double it up here.
Mm-hmm.
And, even since the very first demo, it was something I was doing. So I try not to abuse it too much anymore, to the point where, we won't be able to reproduce it live. But, I still love doubled vocals. I still love the duality of it. And, but yeah, I was trying to do two guys' jobs in one, because it was, Bill Steer was kind of the other guy. It was Jeff and Bill, back and forth. And, yeah, I just really like that dual nature, and then, Ben from Soylent Green and Goat Horror, it was a huge influence for me at the very beginning of this band. And, he's one of the best frontmen out there, I love his voice. He's got that high-low thing going too, to some regard. So that was, a definite influence there. And, yeah, man, I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's just what I wanted to hear, I guess,
Okay, yeah. Because when I first started listening to you guys, when Unhallowed came out, to me you were the first to do this. I hadn't heard that before. The highs and the lows, and I really thought there was two vocalists, because on the album credits it said you for vocals and then Brian guitars and vocals. I'm like, oh, okay, the guitars does either the highs or the lows. I don't know which ones. And then when I saw you guys for the first time, again at the social, I was like, oh, it's one guy. Okay. And I was totally blown away right there. But,
that's cool. That was a big misconception at first. And, a lot of people thought, either just hearing it, that there was two vocalists, or like you said, that Brian did a lot, but his voice on the record too, but it's just not, nearly as prominent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but he's definitely been my dude. He's the one that picks up the slack and does the doubles with me live in the cases where we need to. And he does a good job. I'm definitely stoked to have him backing me up.
Oh
there,
yeah, definitely. So just take a little left turn here. Something I've always wanted to talk to you about is artwork, album artwork, and T-shirt artwork also, to an extent. Who did the art on this album for you guys?
This new one is handled by Christian Whalen, aka Necrolord.
Okay. And
it is a return to the same guy that did Nocturnal.
Okay.
And it was kind of it was a nod to the 10th anniversary of the Nocturnal album, and kind of to the first time we could afford actually legitimate artwork, whereas the first two records I still don't like what they look like. We just couldn't really afford anything at the time. So it was, I take it very seriously. I'm always in charge of the artwork, and the shirts and stuff too are also my department. So to me, the visual thing of the band is very important, and I try to embody what I like about death metal. What I liked about it coming into it, what I still like about it, and try to embody that for somebody that's maybe looking at us for the first time, or getting into extreme metal. And because I realize that we've been a gateway band for a lot of young people. So for me, it's all about the dangerous place. It's all about some kind of fantastical area that you depict on the album cover that's just a horrible place to be. Usually, to me, that's just such a classic thing, you know what I mean? Entombed Left Hand Path from 1989, this is a very old thing in death metal, so I try to kind of stay that course with what we do. And I try to have a color palette that will define the album for 2 years, and separate it from what we've done in the past. But usually I would go to a new artist every time in an attempt to keep the fans on their toes, and in a way, returning to Christian was a wild card move, I thought, that people wouldn't quite expect.
Well, he's a great artist. I mean, that Nocturnal album cover is great also. It's beautiful artwork.
Yeah, man, it was definitely iconic and, definitely cool. And he's such an iconic piece of melodic metal's history with his artwork. He's been on so many incredible records. Dissection, At the Gates, there's just Dark Tranquility, just tons of them, so it's something old and something new.
Does he work on digital or is he working on physical, on paper?
Oh, it's all paint, man. And he's doing it the old way, cranking them out.
That's good. Do you have the original in your possession, or
No, that would be cool. I've never had one of the originals from any of our artwork, but
oh man,
damn, that would be really cool. I saw like a picture of him painting it. You know what I mean? So I saw like the easel shit, and I mean that was pretty cool. You usually don't even get that kind of a glimpse. So, but damn, I'd love to have it. I wonder how big it is.
Yeah. Gosh, there's a lot of detail in there. Let me tell you. So.
Yeah, there's lots of red, man. He said he used like 5 different kinds of red, and he definitely went crazy on the red, and that was the idea. Like I said, a really strong color to kind of identify the album cycle. So lots of red merch, lots of red lights, and red video. Obviously.
Yep. There's a theme there. There's a theme.
Yeah, getting the crimson going.
Yep. So there's 2 album covers though that you guys have released that kind of stand out to me more than the others. And the first one is Ritual. You were kind of going for like a book of magic type of thing, which I thought was really awesome and different, But the other one is your second album, Miasma, and I got really worried when I saw that album cover. Because
I think a lot of people did, and I think that Brian Slagle from Metal Blade was one of them.
Yeah,
but it was different. Lyrically, it was different. It wasn't as dark of an album. It's a lot more personal. And I was trying to capture the exciting world of leaving your life to be on tour, and to be a drunken maniac in the world of rock and roll. We had such a wild times out in Vegas, and it just seemed like the right kind of vibe. I don't know if it really came across ultimately the way that we wanted it to. And looking back, I find it to be something of a misstep. But luckily it didn't drive us into the ground.
Well, because the thing is, usually when a band goes, because the first album Unhallowed was kind of death metal like, I guess, cover, but you went for such a different style on the second cover that I'm thinking, oh shit, this is going to be bad. They're totally changed their music. It's not going to be what it was. That's what I thought, because usually that's what happens. Like, when Kiss,
right? Yeah, it looked like it was going to have a DJ on it or something.
Exactly, because like when Kiss put out The Elder, it was just a hand in the door.
You're like, oh, this is bad. This is getting rough.
Exactly, and then Exodus, and when they put out Force of Habit, I was like, oh, this is not going to be good, and it wasn't. Yeah,
that Force of Habit is a very strange record.
Yeah. So I was very worried, but I was very happy when I heard it, because I was like, okay, good. They didn't change. They didn't change that much. It's all good.
Right. We definitely modernized the sound a good bit at that point, and. But I think by and large we didn't change that much,
Okay, yeah. So going back to the current stuff, you guys are going on tour in October. You're going out with Suffocation, Decrepit Birth, and Exhumed on some dates, Necrot, and Wormwitch. So that's a freaking killer lineup, man. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely one I'm very proud of. I have a big hand in assembling the lineups for our tours.
Okay.
So it's something I enjoy. It's something I want to put together a lineup that makes me proud, where I enjoy every band. And Necrot is kind of the wild card band on the bill, I want to say. Like they're just coming up right now, but they have such a huge buzz from their debut album. And I caught them recently with Undergang, and I thought they were just so sick live. So I was like, all right, man, let's do this.
Yeah.
So I enjoy extending our hand to younger bands. You know what I mean? They're not younger in age necessarily, these guys, but they're a new band, and I want to create a package that's just awesome. I don't want to bring bands that I think we can smoke on stage or something on purpose. Or, that's kind of a weird concept to me. I just want to make it like the best feel humanly possible.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to add. You want to add to the show and not subtract to it. You do want to bring some of their fans, or want your fans to discover them and help them out. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely a give and take in that way.
Yeah. We've had Necrot on the show a few months ago, and great guys. That they're awesome. So you guys are going to be all over the U.S. Until mid-November. So is that going to be like your holiday break in mid-November?
Yeah, we'll be home for the rest of the year then, so that'll be nice. About a month, maybe about a month and a half off, probably.
Okay.
And there's a tour shaping up for Europe, but I can't really divulge anything about it yet. It's still that sensitive area, but it's big for us. Definitely cool. We're not at the top of the bill, which is exciting for us.
Okay.
We want to be support. We want to be on the smaller end of tours. We want to get in front of a bigger band's fans. You know what I mean? We're still hoping for opportunities like that.
That's very cool. Very cool. So, where can your fans go to on social media to find you guys?
I'm very, very prominent on Facebook. If the fans want to reach out at the band Facebook, they will find me there, and I will more than likely answer your questions or laugh at your fart joke or whatever. And I think the fans get a real kick out of that. But we also have a website, and we're on Twitter and Instagram. Pretty much all the bases are covered. But yes, Facebook is, I think, the strong suit of the band. I think that's where the fans really respond, and they really get a kick out of that we're at the other end of that thing. And it was a really easy decision to make. A, I didn't know who else that was going to do it. And B, it's just like it means a lot to them. You know what I mean? The fans just get a fucking kick out of it. All you got to do is talk to them. They're people. They're cool people. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
People I enjoy. Like-minded individuals.
Exactly. And it kind of breaks down the barrier of they're the band. Oh, they're never going to talk to me. You're people too. So, so that's
right.
Great.
We've tried to break down that fourth wall, not only during the show, but, before and after with we'll talk to anybody. We'll hang out in the crowd and shake hands and meet people. And, we're just thankful to have fans. And I see how far it goes to be approachable, and first and foremost, I'm a metal fan. I'm here as a fan, and I think people see that. I think that they can that it's made us. I don't know. People see themselves in us, and I think that's what makes it work in a lot of levels.
We hope you enjoyed Rock's chat with Trevor of the Black Dahlia Murder. Tune in to radioactivemetal.org to find out more about what's been going on with the podcast and listen to more great interviews and content like what you heard today. Horns up, rock out, and make some noise.
Visit us at radioactivemetal.org or go to iTunes for past episodes and write a review. Listen to us live every Thursday night on purerockradio.net. You can also listen to us on Stitcher.com, TuneIn.com, Google Play, and all the other podcast aggregators. You can purchase the music featured in this episode by going to radioactivemetal.org and clicking on the episode link. Leave us a voicemail. We want to hear from you. Call 321-80-HEAVY or 321-804-3289. We may even play it on the show. Email us at radmetal666@gmail.com with suggestions or for indie spotlight submissions. Follow us at facebook.com/radmetal, twitter.com/radmetal666, and instagram.com/radioactivemetal. This has been a presentation of Radioactive Metal. It's not metal unless it's radioactive metal.